Hey, here we go, guys. What's up? Just starting a live chat. Give you guys a minute or two to get settled in. Grab you something to drink because it is Sunday, and we have a game here in about 3 hours. So 2 hours and 45 minutes. I know the Jacksonville game is just getting over. So I'll go ahead and start the live chat. No one on yet, but if you guys happen to jump in, go back, watch the video from the beginning. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this thing. I just hit 300 views, which, not 300 views, 300 subscribers, which is awesome to me. Just doing a little something to stay busy here with the cowboy feeds, the cowboy videos, and, you know, have good conversation with cowboy fans. On this video, I will be going over the top 10 players now that OTAs and training camp is over. The team will be moving back to Dallas now, as you guys know, to finish up this game and the final two preseason games. What's up, D. Will? I see you chiming in. Let me jump over real quick, open a YouTube box and get my chat box open. I will go back and forth, but I did want to show a few things. Let's see, I did want to use the computer. I'm using the computer here to go over the videos real quick. So, and the information I need, I'll go back and forth with the phone so I can keep the chat box open. Here we go. I know D. Will is on. Anybody else out there? Okay, let me mute this and I'll start with the video. So, the top 10 players in training camp, and at the end I'll list the MVP. Top 10 players currently at the end of OTA. Player number 10 was Michael Gallup. Hey, what up? Hulk? Hey guys, we got 3 hours till the game. So in 3 hours we'll be cheering these Cowboys on. Hopefully to a victory is important, but as you guys know, we want our players to look good. We want to get out of it with no injuries. We want to get out of there with these top 10 players especially, and some of the guys that are on the bubble. Making that decision on the bubble on who's going to be on the team and who's going to make the practice squad. So here we go, guys. Player number 10, as I just mentioned, was Michael Gallup. They said, you know, he had the touchdown catch in the preseason game with Dak Prescott. They said during the complete training camp and OTAs, he had just a really good ability to get open, and it looked like he had a good connection there with Dak Prescott. So hopefully we got one receiver that's moved up. Now that's our number 10 guy. There is another receiver on the top 10 list. So we will move forward. After Michael Gallup, the next player on the list is our number 9 player in preseason, which was Tyron Smith. Really good to hear. They say he's healthy. They say he's doing much better this year than he was last year at this point. He got a lot of good rest. He did a lot of physical therapy over the summer, and hopefully we're going to be looking at him playing strong, but playing very little in the preseason game, as you guys know. They want to look at Fleming. They want to get Fleming as many reps as possible, Connor Williams as many reps as possible, and these young guys. So Tyron Smith, Jalen Smith. Hey, I would love to see him break the NFL record for tackles in a season. That, to me, that'd be awesome. We got an amazing linebacker core. He's going to have to fight Sean Lee off for tackles. I think those two guys are going to be fighting over tackles. So, one more, guys. Okay, so Tyron Smith, they said he's healthy. He's in there. He's lining up well. He looks quick. But I will say this, and I'll touch on this at the end of the video. Randy Gregory was smoking him at practice. At the last practice, Randy Gregory was tearing Tyron Smith up. So is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You know, do we have you know, such a positive thing on the defensive side or what? So we'll see. But guys, the last week, I will say this in the documents I've been reading, the document I've been going over for the last week. The last day of training camp and OTA, they gave Randy Gregory 5 out of 5 followers that commentate and and follow the OTAs really close, 4 out of 5 gave the MVP for the last day. They do that daily. They gave Randy Gregory the MVP. They said he is looking sick in practice. He beat Tyron Smith on 3 consecutive plays for sacks. So that's a good thing for Randy Gregory. I hope that you guys. I don't think that means that Tyron Smith has lost a step. I think that means it's practice, and Tyron Smith maybe underestimating what he's up against. And Randy Gregory took him to the hole and sacked Dak Prescott 3 plays in a row. Number 8, and this is outstanding because this involves our depth chart. Joe Thomas. They said Joe Thomas is looking quick. He's looking fast. He's a standout linebacker in OTAs, he's our number 8 player on the MVP list for OTAs. So moving on from there, take advantage. He took advantage of Sean Lee sitting out in practice a lot. He got a lot of practice time. Sean Lee got the rest, and Joe Thomas got the practice, which is exactly what we need. Number 7, Chidobe Awuzie. So as you guys know, secondary is completely different this year. It is the secondary. You guys see, if you go back and look at some of my early videos, the secondary we're going to start the season with is the secondary we ended the season with last year. And we played very well the last 4 games of the season with the secondary of Chidobe Awuzie, Jordan Lewis, and the new crew. We got Byron Jones, who was also playing a little bit of corner at the end. So with this new secondary and the new guys in place, Anthony Brown is the one we're concerned about right now. Anthony Brown didn't play too well in the first game, and as you see, they played him a lot in the first game. What's up, guys? Hey, Scott Vega, how you doing, brother? Cowboys fan, Dallas fan, go Cowboys. We got 3 hours to the game, guys. And we'll see. We'll get to see these players. Anthony Brown is going to get a lot of playing time again tonight, and if he gets burned, they're gonna leave him out there, and they're gonna let him continue to get burned, and they're gonna find out is he learning from this or not, because he didn't play very well in the first game, and they've got to find out if he's going to be a solid secondary defender for us, or if he even belongs on the depth chart, So after number 7, Chidobe Awuzie, I'm moving on to DeMarcus Lawrence, who was number 6. That's self-explanatory. You guys know. I think with Randy Gregory on the other side, and also with the new defense Chris Richard is going to play, with the cornerbacks and the safeties playing up closer, you don't give that quarterback the option to just turn and dump it to a receiver, or turn and dump it to these to the slot guys on these receiver screens. We're gonna shut that down. We got hit on that a lot last year, which doesn't allow us to get our pass rush in. If your quarterback's capable of just turning and throwing the ball to the receiver and getting a 4-yard reception, your guys in the defensive line don't even get a chance at rushing the quarterback. With Randy Gregory there, with Crawford, Armstrong is playing very well at defensive tackle. He is also on the list here for the top 10 players out of OTAs. So really, really impressive. I think our defensive line is going to cause us to get, we're going to get a lot more sacks this year than last year. And I think that's going to help us in the turnover game. We're going to get strip sacks. We're going to get more interceptions, because the quarterbacks are going to have to get rid of the ball a lot quicker than they did in previous years, when we just had DeMarcus Lawrence there last year. So Byron Jones, number 5. Last year a lot of the YouTubers had Byron Jones on the radar for, hey man, he's not working out. I always liked his athletic ability. I always liked what he had the ability to do. He's very fast. He has very strong legs. He can leap. The guy can jump out of the damn stadium. It's his athletic ability is crazy. He does have trouble because he's a little longer on cutting, and I would say his biggest problem at safety was probably his angles. He would take bad angles sometimes, and you can't do that at safety. You have to take a cautious angle, but make the tackle, but make sure you get solid in front of that defender. You can't run in and clip at his ankles, because if you run and clip at his ankles and he blows past you, you're the safety, so he's gone. So that's what they had trouble with Byron Smith, with him being a corner. I think we resolved that problem. I think Byron Smith is one that, I think he's a Pro Bowl type player, and he will be. John Lewis, Jordan, exactly. We want to see Jordan Lewis on the field more. He did get burned last year during the regular season a little bit towards the end, just because of his size. But if we can get him covering the right players in the slot, and that's where he's a good hitter. He's aggressive. He's tenacious. He's a fierce defender. We just got to work on his pass coverage a little bit. That's where, to me, covering the smaller guys, like if he was to cover Cole Beasley or Tavon Austin, in practice, that's great. In game time situations, covering the larger receivers is where he has trouble, and in the red zone also. Number 4, Tavon Austin. That's our speed guy. We have quite a few speed guys now. We've increased the speed on the outside as well as in the interior. Cole Beasley, as you guys know, he's a very quick guy. He runs very good routes. He's precise, but he does not have the speed to break away and take one to the house. That was one of the things I liked about Ryan Switzer. Ryan Switzer was quite a bit faster than Cole Beasley, and I'm going to be watching the Raiders this year quite a bit to see what happens with Ryan Switzer, because I really like the guy. He did have the fumble that kind of turned the game around, against, I believe it was the Rams. It was earlier in the season, but guys, a mistake's a mistake. But the guy was he was 4th in the league over the year in kickoff returns and punt returns. So I would prefer to have that and know we have it. If he has a fumble, early in a game, we still could have won that game. You can't blame one turnover, in a game for losing the game. So, Tavon Austin in the slot should help us out quite a bit. Are you impressed with? Yeah, I just mentioned that. I think you had just jumped in, Hulk. He is a super standout in OTAs. They said Armstrong actually had a really good some practices against Zach Martin, and lining up against those guys. The one-on-one drills, he did very well, very impressive. So I think he's actually pushed what I think is Jihad Ward, who they expected to stand out more. They're more impressed with Dorrance Armstrong. So we'll see. But as it looks, our guys are coming together. It is practice, so we got to wait till we see it on the field and put it against the opposing team. But Tavon Austin, our speed guy, looks like he's coming along good with Dak Prescott. Next on the list, number 3, is Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith was very impressive. They were hoping he would be impressive, but with the as you guys know, with the injury, they were tentative to. They brought him along slow in OTAs. He's pretty much been released 100% to, if they need him 6 snaps in a row, they're going to use him 6 snaps in a row. We hope it doesn't get to that. Hopefully we can do, get him on and off the field as much as possible. But Jalen Smith is there. He's working really strong. He's quick, front and back, left to right. And hopefully he is the Dallas Cowboys version of Ray Lewis or Luke Kuechly, a player like that. Number 2, no surprise. Number 2 is Ezekiel Elliott. They say he's looking strong. I think he's hungry. I hope he's put these things behind him. I hope he's grown up a little bit. You expect a guy to grow up. He is 21, 22 years old, so he's still young. But headaches, these guys, there's a balance in the game of life in football. These guys say, hey man, I got this money and I can go out and have fun, and I can do that. And then they get in trouble a couple times, and then they say, hey, I have the possibility of losing this, And even though, especially being a Cowboy, you're watched on everything you do. Right now there's a guy, and I can't even recall his name. I looked it up yesterday. there's a guy from Seattle Seahawks that was part of the Legion of Boom. I think it was Brandon. His last name is Brandon. If you guys recall, and I had it earlier, and I apologize. I know the guy's name. I just can't. I don't want to pause the video. But the guy's he's under investigation right now for first-degree murder, and you don't hear much about it, and you have the Dallas Cowboys. They're out on spring break and they buy a couple penis-shaped water guns, and it's on the news all over the place. But at the same time, you got a guy from Seattle Seahawks who is you got a Seattle Seahawk fan there that's or player that's up for capital murder, and no one's even aware of it. So I'm not sure what happened with the. Are we streaming right now, guys, or did we lose connection? I'm not sure if I lost connection or not. You guys there? That's fucking great. Piece of shit, man. Did this one lose connection, or did... The sound is. Let me move the camera a little closer. So okay, I think I just lost connection on my laptop. I think the yeah, there we go, guys. All right, there we go. All right, are we still on, man? I need to check to see if we're still on. I'm moving to the next player, which was actually the #1 player in the OTAs in the combine, which was Zach Martin. Man, they say literally he probably, after this OTA and this season, they're expecting him to be probably listed as the best lineman in football right now, and that's guards, tackles. He's just the most dominant. He had a struggle with let's see, here we go, Marcus Martin. No, Marcus Martin's the guy that just, Zach Martin. I read this somewhere else. Where's it at? I apologize, guys. Let me read through this real quick. Defender, but you know. Okay, that was another article I read on. Anyways, during the one-on-ones, he was so strong and so dominant against the other linemen that were lining up against him, the defensive tackles. He actually was, as you guys know, they get in a circle, they line up, they one-on-one. Zach Martin was actually forcing the defender back into the circle. Usually they'll go in around, go in a circle, one of the guys will fall, but he was actually locking them up and pushing them back into the crowd. So he really dominated OTAs. He's done well in practice. He's done well in the preseason games, and he just hadn't played a lot, and that's what we expect. So I just wanted to go over that real quick, guys. We got the game tonight. As you guys know, I'm on the Rico Gathers bandwagon. I really am pulling for this guy to make the team, but he has got to show up and impress. I did a video a couple days ago where Rico Gathers, yay, what's up, Stevie Mac? Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, I'm super pumped for tonight too. I'm going to be out at a place called Wolfie's in Houston. It's out. I'm like 15 minutes from the lake here. I'm going to roll up to the lake and we'll be doing a show from up there. Supposed to be a couple hundred Cowboy fans, I believe, there for the game. So we'll be doing that. I'm really pulling for Rico tonight. He has to show out. You guys know he had the one-handed catch. I'm not sure why the team is not. I think a lot of it is playbook stuff. He's not recalling and understanding the blocking schemes and picking it up from the playbook. And if you can't learn the playbook, you take a chance of him skipping a block and going out on a pass route, or he's supposed to chip a guy and he doesn't do it, and you've got a defensive tackle or a defensive end coming at your quarterback full speed, and it's an opportunity for Dak to get hurt with him being on the field and having blocking assignments. And I understand that. It's also it's a liability for Zeke as well. You know, if your tight end's not picking up the right block, it's not the fact that he can't block. They're saying he has trouble with blocking. That means blocking schemes. One-on-one, he's okay. If you can line him up and say, block that guy, he's fine. But when you have to chip this guy and then move into the secondary and pick up the linebacker, or you have to, block the tight end or block the defensive end for like a second, and then roll out into the flats for your passing opportunity. But if you don't notice that defensive end guy's there, you have to recognize that. Do I block this guy, or is he being picked up by the guard, or is the running back picking him up? If you don't remember those things, and you dive on your block and you go right into your pass route, you're going to get somebody hurt. And as you guys know, that's what you avoid a lot. I love Rico, man. I know he has the ability to light the field up with his pass skills and his catching skills, but we just got to get him to that point. So hopefully we'll see that tonight. Hopefully they'll give him some opportunities. Hopefully they can find a way to use him and not jeopardize, Dak Prescott getting hurt or Ezekiel Elliott getting hurt or causing a run game. I want to see Gallup again, as you guys I mentioned at the beginning. Michael Gallup looks good. Tavon Austin looks good. And the big thing is Randy Gregory did not get a lot of reps in OTA or practice because of him being a little behind. That's why he's probably not on the top 10 list I just did. If you guys just came in, hey, please like on the video. Hit the like button, please. That I'm realizing that's really more important than I thought it was. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And real quick on that Randy Gregory thing, guys, he by far won the last day. He won the MVP of the last day. So Randy Gregory beat Jalen Smith on 3 consecutive plays. Earlier in practice, he beat him 2 out of 3 plays. So Randy Gregory looks like he's going to be for real tonight. They're going to test him tonight. They're going to test him in spots and locations. He's definitely going to be there. What they're looking at is probably him definitely being in on 2nd and long and definitely 3rd downs. And on 2nd and 3rd downs with Irving gone, you'll probably have Tyrone Crawford moving in to tackle into the 3-tech, and then Randy Gregory being on the defensive end with DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. And that is swapping Randy Gregory out with Taco Charlton and DeMarcus Lawrence, swapping out with Taco Charlton, and Randy Gregory being able to switch out with Crawford, Tyrone Crawford, and then Armstrong and those guys in the middle. If we can get Irving back, we're going to have a very good front, and that's going to allow our secondary to develop the right way. We don't want our secondary back there having to cover these receivers for 4 to 5 seconds. It's no secondary can do that, So I appreciate you guys jumping in on the video. Go Cowboys! I'll see you guys in 3 hours. Actually, 2 hours and 50 minutes. The game starts. We got a couple games. We got one more game between that. I'm gonna go catch a little bit of that. I'm gonna run to the pet store with the wife, do some husband things, some honeydew things, and we're gonna take the zoo and walk around PetSmart and pick out some things for that. Hey, salute guys. I know salute is Law's word, but I represent all those guys as well, Law and Joe Boo. And if any of you guys were at the draft, and I did get to meet you, I appreciate it. We had an amazing time at the draft, and we will be going to Nashville for the draft this year. Me, Joe Boo, and the other guys, Foots, and E2 Blue. So we'll see you guys at the draft. But for now, 3 hours to the Cowboy games. Let's go Cowboys. Let's go get us another one of these, baby. Let's go get us a number 6. And then we can work on number 7 and being the only team in the NFL with 7 rings, baby. All right, guys, peace out. It's almost game time. Let's get the grill going. Let's get a drink rolling and have a good time, guys. Salute, and we'll see you tonight after the game.